Welcome to a new episode of this podcast, Samtal, runt Östersjön, a podcast we do to celebrate Östersjöfonden, the Baltic Sea Fund that is turning 30 years this year. My name is Jens Berg and I'm your host. The Baltic Sea Fund has awarded individuals and organizations for significant and outstanding contributions to the Baltic Sea environment since 1990. And in this podcast, in each episode, we meet one of the prize winners during the years. And this prize winner meets and discusses with one of the members of the Östersjöfonden delegation. And today we have a very interesting meeting between a prize winner and a member of the delegation of Östersjöfonden. First, the prize winner, Janis Ulme from the Latvian campaign Mana Jura. Janis and Mana Jura won the prize last year. Welcome, Janis.
Welcome. Thank you.
And Janis is also the CEO of the Foundation for Environmental Education in Latvia. Janis, a couple of questions to you first. You decided to clean up the coastline in Latvia, 500 kilometers, by a very unique campaign. We will discuss this today, but how did you ended up doing this?
I think as Finns and Swedes love their archipelago, we love our sandy beach coastline, and every Latvian, probably not every, but almost everybody tries to get out to the coast in the summer times, and as the weather is as it is, it's much more used for the walking as for just sunbathing. So walking along the coast is kind of in the mentality of Latvia, and walking all the coastline is kind of a dream for many, at least youth Latvians or younger Latvians, and almost nobody did that, and that was a dream harnessed, and it came up, rounded up nicely when we managed to do that together with campaign. And probably that was one of the reasons behind the success of campaign, as many people want to join nowadays, and probably not due to marine litter, but due to the chance to see the coast and get this adventure.
A very, very unique campaign that we will discuss in this podcast today. And then Aija Kaski, the member of the Baltic Sea delegation. Welcome, Aija.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here also. Aija is also the head of the Finnish organization Håll skärgården ren, Keep the Archipelago Tidy Association. Aija, a question to you. How did you choose to work with these issues?
Well, Keep the Archipelago Tidy has been working with marine litter since 1969, 50 years. But actually we worked together with FI Latvia from 2011 onwards during a couple of years with issues of marine litter. We wanted to find out and use a method that would be parallel in each country to clean beaches. And actually, we thought in Keep the Archipelago Tidy that our beaches are very clean, that there is no need for such a campaign. And how wrong we were, because after the first year, it turned out that the Finnish beaches were the most littered. So that was kind of a national catastrophe in Finland that we've been working with since. And that's how we actually, both of us, recognized the problem of marine litter also in the Baltic Sea.
A question to you, Janis. When you decided what you wanted to do when you grow up, was it an easy choice for you to be an environmentalist when you chose your career 25 years ago? Was it an obvious choice for you, or how come?
I'm still not calling that a career.
Well, it is a career.
It probably isn't. It's more like a lifestyle or approach to life rather than a rational choice of career. And actually, it found me rather than me looking for it. We had a youth organization when we were in secondary school, but when I went to Riga, to capital city to study, that was not in my ambitions, and I was asked by a colleague or friend at those times to save one project from ruining, and it was coordination of the blue flag for 3 months, interim job. Student needs money. Student took a job. Student is since coordinating blue flag 25 years afterwards.
So you're kind of a Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I don't recall the movie so well. I'm not risking of committing to that, but yeah, I went with that and found very much adrenaline and sense in it.
Mm. And when did the interest start for you? I mean, for how many years, for how many decades have you been working or been interested in these questions?
Well, actually, my destiny was very similar to Janis, because I studied languages. I was to become a translator. And when I was in the final phase of my studies, I was looking for some work, and I ended up in Keep the Archipelago Tidy to run the Blue Flag campaign in Finland. And that was to be only for 9 months because of the maternity leave of the permanent person doing that. And since I have grown up by the lakes in the inner Finland, in the lakeside Finland, and my father was a professional seaman, I was fascinated by the work that the organization did. And when my first session was over, I had my second daughter, and 3 months after, the CEO of Keep the Archipelago Tidy called me and said that, could you please come back, because we need you, and we need help with this work. And so that's how I stayed. I have to say, I think it's the same with Janis, because if you have you get the chance to do this work, you get the chance to influence people, and you get to do the concrete work. It's so motivating that you don't want to stop.
Mm. I'm happy that you continued, because now you're here. Aija, my last question to you before you start discussing. You chose Janis as your partner for this discussion. Why did you choose Janis? What's so special with him?
I've been following the campaign in Latvia since the beginning, and I'm a big fan of it. I think it's somehow astonishing. I'm still wondering how on earth do you do it? How do you manage it? Because even when we do our beach cleanups, it's 20 or some beaches we do, and it's a lot of work. And I know you walk the beaches of Latvia every summer, and I think it's and I know how you have involved the local municipalities and the citizens to the campaign, and I think it's something very spectacular. I'm only envious that we don't have so sandy beaches in Finland, that we can't do it. But I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, it is. It's a really, really exciting story that Janis Ulme has. Now I will hand over the microphones to you. I will step back and just enjoy your discussion.
Thank you. Maybe I'd like to start with the question of how did you come up with the idea of walking the whole Latvian coastline and pick up all the trash along the way? Where did that idea come from?
When we started up together with Keep Archipelago Tidy and Holsbergeren, when we started up the marine litter work in Latvia, we had to look at the ways how to do that. And we could do that in business as usual ways. But at that stage in the office, people thought, were fed up a little bit with the usual ways of doing things. And also this, as we talked already, this coastline has a special attraction to Latvians. And it was also a personal dream of a couple of people in organization this was personal challenge to walk all the coastline. And so we combined it, and instead of doing doing things in usual ways with seminars and brochures. In one summer, we closed our offices, and with a not very proper planning on the paper and with the maps, we just went to the Lithuanian border and spent a month outside in the nature, going and doing monitorings, because the main idea was and main motivation for that was to fill the data gap that existed in marine litter issues. And we never thought it will grow and develop in those ways.
So the first year was mostly about walking and picking up the trash and
monitorings.
Okay,
yeah.
But then you eventually thought about involving the local communities also to the campaign.
Yeah, it happened so that in first year, shortly before expedition started, we thought, but why don't invite people to join for 1, 2, 3 days? And so we invited, and people came. Not many people in the first year, some couple of them, some families, but they went away after those 2, 3 days a little bit changed. So that's and the energy that we got from the people that took part, and there were no any side activities. It was just quite heavy work, rudely planned distance, amount of monitorings each day. It was like working, so not scientific, half scientific expedition. And we thought that we saw that this works, and I think it was end of the second week that we knew we have to continue next year that.
And now I know that you have also involved artists and scientists to your work, so it's not only about picking up the litter, it's also many other things. Could you describe them a bit?
Yes, campaign grew like a tree. It now has branches, independent. So basically, our concept why those activities were added to campaign is that you can talk with people about environment in different languages. So the facts and science is one language, the communication is one language, art and music is another language, and every method that touches upon persons values is valuable one. So now we have in the years when we can afford it, we have concerts, we have very special places in Latvia where our classical and jazz music concerts take place parallel to the expedition route. It's usually the lighthouses or the places where you would never imagine concerts, and those venues are amazing, and we have had so many celebrities on the Latvian and international scale playing for the sea, for the campaign. And then the largeness of auditory at that certain point is not the basic parameter. Then we are trying, when people are with us in the expedition route, we are trying to provoke them to look at the broader picture of the coastline, not only litter or cleanness. We are trying each day organize some meeting with either local expert or activist or ranger in the local park, who gives them understanding about real coastline challenges and or values of Latvian coastline, if it's a nature protection expert. And yes, and apart from that, we have held workshops in public festivals, in music festivals, which is sometimes a big part of the problem on the coastline. We even had our volleyball tournament. So we are trying to mix up things for the sake of the speaking, to approaching as much people as we can, and also for the fun that gives to us, to organizers, to do something new each year.
You've been doing it now for 8 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. What has been most difficult versus most rewarding during all these years? It's a long time for a campaign.
Yes, most rewarding probably is the thing you already mentioned, to make an impact on people and make an impact on society, to see how persons who don't believe that our beaches has a problem and that our coastline has a problem, they come to the campaign probably for adventure or probably for friends or fun. And after 3 days, but when they have been participating in monitorings and seen the local activists or experts and seen by their eyes and by their feet what's really going on, they change, and they change for life. So that's most rewarding to make that impact.
I can imagine. Mm.
And the most difficult part is that probably what we are doing now for first years, it's in our mind, the idea and the concept has already grown far beyond what we are doing now. But real life has its limitations. So, and these boundaries that each year we are like have to make a compromises among what we want to do now and how we want to grow this campaign and what we actually can do to make it still alive.
Where are the most difficult limitations? What are the most difficult obstacles?
I think there are probably the rational ones are that every idea or even policy item needs a time to mature, actually, and probably we would love to see the involvement of municipal sector or government sector to an extent that cannot be yet done, probably after some 2-3 years. And of course, many activities that we want to provide for public or for awareness raising, we are just brutally limited by financial restrictions and our human capacity.
How do you finance the campaign?
Every year we look for the different sources, and we have a good partnership with Ministry of Environment and Regional Protection, because we are providing the data that now, if it was not the case in 2012, now it's a case that governments all around Europe needs the data to report to European Commission. So we are doing the valuable expert job, and in exchange to a certain limit, we have a cooperation with Ministry of Environment that supports more or less regularly. But we are looking for other finances. We are cooperating with municipalities. We are looking for international funds. And people are ready and willing to pay their share for expedition costs by themselves.
Okay. How long do people usually join the expedition? The length of the whole campaign is about 2 months?
1 month.
1 month?
Yeah.
Okay. And do people, they join for a day or a week or?
We are encouraging to stay with us at least for 3 days, because in 1 day you are just going, you can use any tourism company to go on 1 day excursions, but neither they get the value of the event nor we can make an impact on them or have them a space to see what's going on and what we want to tell with campaign. So we are encouraging for the minimum of 3 days. It's probably half of people are joining for 3 to 5 days.
Okay. And do they usually come again, or is it mostly for just one time?
Yes, and it's one of the hurdles now we have to tackle, because we developed out as a community, and actually we could easily live and fill our groups with veterans, how we call them. So because people want to, if they use 2-3 days per year, they want to cover all coast, and that takes like 10 years. And but yeah, that's one of the amazing things, how this My Sea campaign grew out as a community, and there are like several thousand people now who we meet on the street and yeah.
Do you have some way to keep in touch with these people? Do you have some social media channel that you use?
Yes, we used Facebook for people and for like PR issues, but we have also our internal mailing list to everybody who has been participating, because sometimes in last 2 years we have to keep the campaign dates into a secret because we have a huge limitations on how big group we can take on the board. So we are prioritizing sending out
So you have to say sometimes sorry, you can't join messages.
We have to say so because we are also we are running this is environmental campaign, and we are quite radical environmental organization, and one thing that we do not want to do is to make a negative environmental impact on the coastline by one of our activities. And if you take a group that is too large in a very pristine territories, that probably can happen without infrastructure and like 100 people's like stomping through the dunes.
I understand. You said you are a radical campaign. In what way? In being so concrete?
No, we are as organization. We are probably on like a little bit radical environmental approach organizations. We are trying to do those things for the environment, and we are trying not to compromise too much in neither of our campaigns, neither in Blue Flag or Eco Schools or other public activity that we do.
I have to ask, do the beaches look different now after 7-8 years, or is the site always the same? I mean, is the quality and amount of litter, has it grown, or is it less? Or?
Yes, unfortunately, it was one of this year's highlights. We actually we thought that 7 years data is quite enough to make some like loud decisions about how the situation looks like. And it was quite a sad conclusions that we came up this year, that unfortunately amount of marine litter of beaches have increased by 1/3 throughout those years, from 150 with something items per 100 meters those years back to 240 this year. And that has happened despite the fact that indeed many good things happened in Latvia as well, on every level, on national level for the attention on marine litter. People are starting to be sensitized by this issue, and municipalities have taken up enormous amount of work, really, that I haven't dreamed will happen before 7 years. So, and our conclusion is that probably we cannot just by simple management tricks or fixes, we cannot get to this root of the problem. So systemic changes must be needed. Some things must not be produced or must be eliminated.
We know that 80% of the litter that is found on beaches is not coming from the sea, it's coming from the land. So we have to influence the people living.
Yes,
by
exactly.
The coastline.
And that's a first largest myth that is being taken down during the practical expedition, and that's huge cultural shock for for people, for municipalities.
You already mentioned that the attitudes of people and society have already changed during this time. I know that you travel quite a bit because of the work with, for example, FI, the Environmental Education Organization. How do you feel the attitudes are around the world? Is it the same, or are there still places where it's where the awareness has not risen yet for the marine litter questions? Or how do you feel? Is the problem common for everybody around the world?
I'm just a couple of weeks back from Mediterranean, and I was it gives so much reasons. On one hand, it gives so much reasons to be proud about, like our situation. On other hand, I really think that to large extent, the focus is on general, the large global problems. The awareness exists all around the globe. So on climate, resources, and nowadays I think the marine litter climbed up to those issues that awareness is in place. But I also, that's why I started with Mediterranean. It's one of the trigger points. You can easily provoke me to the heated debate on Twitter if you compare that our clean beaches with those rubbish in the developing world. And this is one of the things that I disagree. I disagree that it's we have a chance and we need to make comparisons like that, because if we look at the reasons and tens and hundreds of reasons why the situation is worse in some regions of the world with the marine litter, then I don't think the awareness is a largest factor that determines this. And if we start to count seriously the reasons and look at the reasons, I think the reasons would come back to our countries, why in other parts of the world the situation is so dramatic.
The reasons are many, and they cover all the layers of our society. We both have been picking up litter from beaches, and we know what marine litter is, but if you would have to define it to somebody who doesn't know what is marine litter?
When we started to work with marine litter in 2012, there was a Swedish colleague who put it most brilliantly as I ever heard. The marine litter is the thing that is not in its own place. So basically everything human produced kind of hard pollution or items that ends up in marine environment, in seas or oceans. So, and that's easy when you think of things, and sometimes are trying to find for certain things place in the data protocol. When you are thinking, it's the beach place for this thing, and you can answer easily. That's exactly. The basic criteria.
What are the 3 most common items that you find on Latvian beaches?
The first one is plastic pieces in the certain level of degradation that we cannot put them in any of plastic categories. And it's a famous plastic other category that is there. It's about 16% of all the litter on the coast. Then plastic bags come with 1/10 of all the litter, and then with 8%. I'm talking about 7-year data. There is cigarette butts and some paper and carton.
Exactly. It looks very much like the situation on Finnish coastline. I think it's the universal composition of litter found on beaches. If there's someone who's listening to us now and would like to do something for the coastline and for the marine litter issue, what would be your best advice? What could one do on personal level, or if they try to activate some a little community for that?
I think if you are an organization that is trying to work on this issue, my main we learned from campaign that, and we are trying now to put that in every other new initiative we are doing in the situation and in society we live in, where the density of information is so intense. Then when you are trying to activize people on environmental issues, probably it's no matter how you do it, expeditions or whatever. It's not about content, but the methods must go away from pure information and must approach people by giving them a chance for the experience by their own, because information is currently so much of it is everywhere that people are like already resistant to the facts, to the information, and that's a huge lesson to learn for environmentalists as well, so that our efforts don't go in vain. So, and I think that's the same debate is in educational sector as well. And we must learn from that. And on personal level, just, probably it's not, about what you throw out, but, actually it's about what you buy or choose not to buy.
Exactly. Are you going to continue with Mana Jura, or and what ideas do you have?
So our long-term idea is which we are harnessing already 3-4 years. We want to come to the situations that, in parallel to all the governmental efforts, international legislation, municipal efforts, and work in coastal issues, we have each kilometer of Latvian coast covered by someone who cares about the coast. And we call, and around the world with a loose concept, we call it adopt a beach methodology. And we really want to have this situation that we know that somehow each meter or kilometer of Latvian coast is cared for in parallel to all what government is doing. Then that includes a wide range of activities that would include, of course, marine litter issues, that would include the citizen science, that would include the school outside classes, actually bringing, and by that we would bring back the people in connection with nature and probably make some deeper impact. And therefore we sometimes become a little bit depressed on continuation of effort, because that would require huge amounts of making up the methodology. There is nothing to copy from. We sometimes copy best practices from other countries, but I've studied for 2 years this situation, and there is and seas differ, so there is no perfect model that exists whom to follow. So that would involve plenty of brain work before that can be done. So, but until then, we hope to continue with the expedition, and we certainly, whatever the situation is, project-wise, we will not let the data go in vain by sticking to our principles and ending it.
I had a very ambitious question here. I wanted to ask you what you think the meaning of life is.
I like Douglas Adams' books, and that provokes to me the answer 42. But I thought about it seriously, and I think apart from all the environmental things, and I think we must remember to be more human to each other, because that's what is probably lost in recent centuries, and that's in the root of the many environmental issues and sustainability issues. We have to reflect and try to be more human, more decent humans to ourselves, to planet, to each other. So that would be meaning of life in mixed Vonnegut Douglas Adams style.
Very good answer. Thank you for that.
Aya, now when I've been listening to you here discussing, would this campaign, Mana Jura, would it be possible to do in Finland or in Sweden? What do you think?
We have a similar campaign. It's called Snygg Beach, Siisti Beach in Finland, that we have been doing since the same campaign. But we can't do it quite the same way as the Latvians can, because of the coastline is very different. We have rocky coastline, and it's difficult to go everywhere. But I think this kind of initiative is very important for also Finland and Sweden, because as Janis said many times, to see how people change when they pick up the litter from the coastline, and it's an eye-opening experience, because I've been going with groups to beaches that I haven't been before. I haven't been checking if there is enough litter, and I've been sweating like, oh my God, this looks so clean. There is nothing to pick up, and we have never come out under 2 hours. And there's always more to find, more to pick, more to do. So somehow I've been thinking about it, that we have some kind of mental curtain before our eyes, that we cannot see the litter that is there, that is bad for the nature. But when you bend down and you pick it up, you do see it everywhere.
Have you also brought decision makers and politicians to the beaches to pick up litter?
Yes.
What do they say, both in Latvia and in Finland? I'm just curious.
Well, in Finland, at least, they are appalled, of course, because nobody believes it before they have done it themselves. As I said before, we were nearly denying joining this project, because we thought we had so clean coastline, and that's not true.
Yeah, that's usually one of the nicest things that happen, because before they are forced to come with us out on the coastline, they are a little bit making fun, a little bit bragging, especially municipalities. We have the cleanest coastline in the whole Latvia, and we are doing so much and so on. And then after those couple of hours with us, or some persons join for the day stretch. So usually the answer is, interesting. Because
Exactly.
Is it the same in Finland?
That's the same phenomenon.
Okay.
Yeah, that happens, yes.
Because when we are on the coastline in the tourism mode, we never see that litter. We never, we see over it. And that's one of the biggest risks that we will start of the issue, that we will start to tolerate some amount of litter in the marine environment. Yeah.
My last question to you, I started thinking, what is the most peculiar thing that you have found on the beach or on the coastline when you have been walking, for example, in Latvia 500 kilometers? What is the most interesting or spectacular thing that you have found? And the same question to you, Aija, after that Janis has answered.
It's hard to answer, because the variety of things you find, starting from refrigerators and sofas and TVs and computers and tires and everything, is so much that it's interesting and peculiar when you find something new first time. But when each year or each day you are keeping on finding those hazardous waste items, it's just depressing. So I would rather stick that, because this is one of the questions that come up very often. So, and I don't have a nice answer for that, or answer people hope for. I like those artifacts that symbolize how long does the litter stays in the sea. So, and the most peculiar thing was probably the bottle cap from 68, year 68. It's not a plastic item because at that time the plastic wasn't, but in Soviet Union there was like folio bottle caps, bottle lids that was, and that symbolizes probably what people we'll find on the coastlines after 3-4 centuries picking up our cola cups and polystyrene cups and so.
I would go back to the first year we did these monitorings, and we went to a beach quite near the city of Turku, and we found several hundreds of plastic cotton bud sticks. And we were first wondering, wow, somebody's eating a lot of lollipops. No, something else. And it was it still baffles me. We didn't know what it was. Until now we know what it was. It was cotton buds that people have put in toilets and flushed, and it comes through the water cleaning system. And it ends up on our beaches. And we still find them, a huge amount. Now I'm very happy that people, the states are prohibiting the produce of these plastic sticks, but they are terrible. And there were, honestly, we find hundreds and thousands of them every year on our beaches, and that is something that definitely does nothing good for anybody there.
Aija Kaski, Janis Ulme, thank you for being a part in this podcast, Samtal runt Östersjön. And thank you for listening. We'll be back next month with a new episode, a new prize winner, and a new fascinating story. Thank you for listening. My name is Jens Berg.